So right now, if you think about it, there's actually an epidemic in people not really being able to do things, like the high rates of mental illness being diagnosed on people and people self-diagnosing themselves with depression, anxiety, which for some reason people will self-diagnose themselves with depression, anxiety, and people sympathize with it, especially if you're a female or a minority person, a different religion and stuff. But being just a white male and like, look at me, I look pretty normal, like, especially without my glasses, my rate of like being normal. I cut my hair, I shaved like a week, 2 weeks ago. Um, man, the Keurig didn't actually go. I'm cleaning the stove the best I can with isopropyl alcohol and Dawn dish soap. So that just needs to kind of sit there. There's no way that water came out. What the hell, Keurig? I was trying to have some watery coffee. This Keurig's given me more issues than any other coffee maker I've ever used, even broken ones. Or also, let me just use a new coffee. I really like these K-cups to put seeds inside of because you see the size is really small. So to be honest, this Keurig is so shit. Sometimes it takes a long time. I only push this button once. Honestly, I'm gonna unplug it, plug it back in, lift it up, close it, strong. Man, it's so frustrating. But anyway, how is it people will self-diagnose themselves with anxiety, depression, and sympathy bait with certain diagnostics? Then it becomes, look, if you actually suffer from depression and anxiety on a daily basis, you're always really close to having a mental breakdown or emotional breakdowns, and it also becoming a mood disorder diagnosis, possibly. Then, let's say, not sleeping or sleeping too much, um, you'll end up kind of experiencing some psychotic things, things that aren't real, or real to you though. That's part of the criteria of this diagnostics with the delusions, which I think is ironic. The person that suffers from schizophrenic delusion, psychosis, grandiose idea, grandiose delusions, they believe it, at least in that moment. And I've been there. I would literally feel extremely visceral physical things. Like, I don't consider it mental. I wasn't just thinking of this stuff. I would really feel like I'm being dragged into the center of the world and going headfirst into a cement mixer and thrown down a well. Like, for you to experience what I've experienced with psychosis and schizophrenia, delusion, grandiose ideas, you would have to get injected on acid against your will, overdose, die, like lose consciousness, come back, regain consciousness, forgetting everything, not being able to recognize anybody's face is really embarrassing. So imagine going up to women that aren't even your own ethnicity and saying that they are your mom. Then I went up to some Mexican guy and asked him his name, and he told me George Bush. And I was like, oh, you're George Bush. Oh, cool. Like, I believed him. A black woman told me her name was Jesus. But I've met more than 3, 4 different women that told me their name is Jesus or Muhammad. I met a lot of Muhammads, a lot of Jesuses. Probably I've met more Jesuses and Muhammads than anybody else still alive. I've met more people that go by the name Jesus or Muhammad than people back when, back if these prophets did live. I've met more people than the prophets have actually met when they were alive that are claiming to be those prophets. And I do believe that. Not because they are prophets, but I believe that they believe in their reality. We all have our own reality. In a pseudo sense, we are all Jesus Christ or Prophet Muhammad in trying to exist in society. Anybody that's been through court, because, okay, in the mental hospital, all these people are also going through the court system and being placed on court order on antipsychotics against their will to essentially turn them into a working class slave. Because if you could just, man, when you understand the biomarkers that they're looking for, that determines that this medication's effective treatment, it's really sad. They basically put Benadryl as effective treatment even for anxiety and depression when it's not. If you take Benadryl every day, even the most minimum dose, you're weeks away from a complete mental breakdown unless you quit and drink lots of water. Honestly. And what was my main point, though, is getting out of self-diagnosing and preventing a complete psychotic break, preventing a psychotic break from turning into schizophrenia, trying to live a day-to-day life existing that might be depressing or brutal, but you're grateful. Even the more brutal and depressing life gets, you have to end up, it goes into becoming gratitude eventually. If your life is really complete miserable right up until you die, you could be grateful for dying then. And as you die, you could be grateful for existing at all. I think that's what's gonna happen with me. Like, my depression is escalating more and more, but I keep getting more and more gratitude as well. Something really simple like money and grocery shopping and going to this Going out to eat is actually what I enjoy the most now. Clothes shopping. Look at my new shirt. And this flannel's my mom's. These pants are kind of comfy, but they're too soft for me with all my body hair. It's uncomfortable. Adidas socks and my new Ultra shoes. These shoes are perfect for standing or walking in, and I like the look of them. But my other shoes I've been wearing for over 10 years now. 11 years I've been wearing, and they're perfectly broken in where like my feet just go into the shoe like perfect, and I could wear them 2, 3 days. I could go to sleep in my other pair of shoes. These ones are more for standing and walking only. I couldn't run in them. See, they're a little bit too tall too. Like the rubber is a couple inches in height. So I'm like 6'4" in those. And